Hi Stampers! Today I'm going to show you this cool wood piecing technique. I've seen it a lot in home improvement kind of programs, which I'm a fan of, and so I wanted to share that with you. I have seen other cards out on Pinterest with the same idea, but this one I came up with on my own because I like the design. So let's get started. I'm using the wood grain paper that comes in a paper pack. It's called Wood Textures Designer Series Stamp Paper Stack, and it has all of these different papers, and it's in a stack now instead of having the gummed edge on the top. So I took a couple of the sheets and I cut them in half-inch squares by 3 inches. So I just cut and I made sure that the grain was going in the same direction, so it's all long. And these are two-sided, so you get a bunch of different things with just one piece of paper. So I have my card base that's just your typical 8.5 by 5.5 folded in half, and then I have a piece of Pool Party that's 4 by 5.25, and then this piece is just a little bit bigger than 3 3/4 by 5 by 5. The reason is that way we can extend it a little bit and then trim it off at the end. I use some white paper underneath here. So we're just going to take our tape runner and put quite a bit of adhesive on there from top to bottom. I think I overdid a little bit, but it'll be okay. Alright. Then we're going to start with any color. You want to be random with it. And I don't start like right at the beginning. I'm left-handed, so I go from the left to right. So probably about, I don't know, a third of the way. You want to try and get that first row as straight as you can with the bottom, like so. Then the next one, you just put even with that. So the next row, we want to just grab a piece, make sure it's different, and then you just put it on the seam, but not necessarily centered on the seam. I'm kind of off. I don't know if you can see that, but here's the seam, so there's more on one side than the other. Then for the little pieces, you just put 2 different colors. I have some from another card that I'm using, and that's the same, like that. Now the next piece we want to put so that there's no seam lining up with that. So let's take this piece, and we don't necessarily want this to line up straight either, because then it'll look too symmetrical, and we want it kind of off. So this one I went further. I didn't do a very good job of cutting strips. Okay, here's a nice piece. And again, I'm just grabbing them so that it's more random. I'm not fussing over what color's next. Just don't want the same colors on that you had before. I think I'll go all the way over. And you just keep doing this all the way up. And when you're finished, it ends up like this piece. Now I didn't put anything on the top because I will be trimming this, and I know that. So again, you just put different, see, nothing's really lined up straight. So I have a chopper cutting board, or a chopper. And this This is an old Stampin' Up! Cutting trimmer that I happen to have, and it works best with all of the little pieces. So I'm trimming it to 3 3/4 by 5, and that's the piece that you end up with, like this. And one thing I forgot to mention, as you're doing these strips, you'll get probably halfway up, and then you just flip it over and trim these off, and then you can use it for the rest of your card. So now you can just grab another piece and just keep going up like that. And then at the end you'll trim that off, but then you'll trim it to the finished nice clean side here. Next we'll just attach it to the card, and I like my fast fuse, so we'll just attach it. You can use any adhesive, it doesn't have to be anything as sticky as fast fuse. I just like to use it. And then the next layer goes on the main card. But I have found that I've used less fast fuse or less adhesive by using the fast fuse, because I don't have to put so much on. So basically that's it for the technique. One little other tip, I did put, I ran the Pool Party and white through the stitched framelit circles. I stamped the rooster from the wood set, and I just can't see to find her. It's yeah. Anyway, the rooster, any kind of image will work on this. So then on here you see that I have these little foofies. Typically you take a long piece of string and you make a crazy 8 thing and you try to get them all on there. So this is just a little hint for that. We don't want them coming up this way and this way, because it'll look like Mickey Mouse ears. So I'm just putting some adhesive on opposite corners, so it's right here and right here. And I have 4 4.5 inch strips of linen thread. I'll put those on, and I'm just sticking it to the back like so. And then again, I don't want to put them right here because that'll look like Mickey Mouse ears. So then the other two will just go down here. And it's just a lot easier to have control of these pieces by just making little pieces and just putting them on there like that. So now you have kind of a mess on the back. And then I'm going to take some dimensionals, and I'm going to show you these cute little dimensionals that we have now. I don't know if you can see them. They're really tiny, but they work well. So we're just going to put that right over the string, and then put it on this part of the string. You'll find more of these little top pieces all over the house. And then I'll just add a couple more just to keep it so that it lays flat. Like that, maybe one more in the center. And again, this one is probably a little overkill, but it keeps it all nice and even then. And you take that all off. And by putting the dimensionals over the little string, that also keeps it in place in case it comes off of the adhesive. And then you just put that on top of the card, like so. And this one I have a note for you, and we're just going to put some adhesive on that. And this was punched with the label punch, and that's it. On the inside I just stamp a rooster, and we'll just put that with regular adhesive on the inside. And you have a nice interesting background for a card. Thanks for watching and have a great day.